high school consult meetings have been very beneficial for me. Being a first-year assistant principal here at Lake Braddock, I'm learning a lot about my students. I'm learning on how I can best support them, where they might be struggling in, and also working as a team to make sure we are all on the same page.
We monitor our students with Tier 2 and 3 supports each week at Consult. The Consult team consists of the assistant principal, counselors, a representative from clinical, as well as a systems of support advisor.
We use this sheet weekly. It allows us to track our students and kind of the level of concern we might have that week. So for the student, we're pretty concerned about them, and we're concerned about them from the wellness lens. Maybe they just had a recent injury and we know that they're going to require a lot of catch-up time because they're missing school. For every student, we're also connecting them with an action. And so for this student, we're going to do a catch-up plan.
We have an update column for counselors to write quick updates that don't need to be further discussed in meetings. We have an action column to document what needs to happen and who's going to do that action. And we also have, we regularly hide the columns as we go, as things have been taken care of, so that it's not visually overwhelming.
There are enough columns to update trends and progress, and not just this is a one-time only conversation, but what dates and what things have been put into place. And it's a way for us to be able to also go back when we have those conversations, and then 3 weeks later say, oh, what did we talk about then when we have it?
A side benefit is we get to see what's going on in the different sub-schools. Even though they may not be our kids, we can steal ideas.
One of my roles as SOSA with the sub-school consults is to pull academic and attendance data each quarter.
We will pre-load some names onto our consult sheet just so that even if maybe they're not on the admin's radar, maybe they're not on the counselor's radar, the data is showing they need to be on the radar. And so Amy just kind of puts them there, and we don't have a choice. You have to discuss it because it's on the sheet.
And having the sheet plus the data that's pulled, it's a quick reminder for us to let's go back to this and not the anecdotal conversations.
This year we added a drop-down menu under actions and asked that as students were discussed, we would pair them with an action so we weren't just talking but meeting needs.
The sheet also has a link to our Tier 3 team so that at any point we can quickly refer a student to the Tier 3 team. Whenever we kind of are unsure of how best to support this student, or maybe our ideas just don't seem to be working, we need a little more people to collaborate with.
I think if you asked any of us, we wouldn't say we love this sheet. It really has some work and refinement to yet occur.
We have some members that have to go to 5 different consults, and they sometimes could miss hours. So how can we honor people's time better so that we get all of those voices at every single consult?
For us at Braddock, one area of continued growth is that connection at the Tier 1, Tier 2 academic level. We are still really working on getting useful data from our teams and sharing useful data with our teams.
Maybe finding a way to incorporate some of these students' teachers in there so they can understand what's going on with this student, why they might be struggling, and maybe they can also share input on how that student is doing in their classroom.
I think that practicing how to fill out each of those cells can take a little bit, and I think sharing just distributing the responsibility between the administrator and counselor about who's going to write what, and kind of who's facilitating that. I think a little bit of practice with that in the summer, or
whatever revisions we're making, whatever new models we use, keeping them all focused on 4 key concepts: catch, protect, pair, and share, where we're catching students using data, where we're protecting the MTSS system from being overloaded, where we're actually pairing students with real interventions, and share, where we're sharing that information more broadly amongst stakeholders.